It was an attempt to snatch the gun from him by PW2 that the gun went off. So the gun went off unintentionally. And I think the jury found that he did not intentionally cause the death of the deceased. He did not. It was because a life has passed on, then instead of convicting for murder, they really convicted for manslaughter. And then he being the first offender, we tried to mitigate the sentence, but the court, in its discretion, decided to give him the maximum. But we shall exercise our right to appeal against the sentence and even the conviction in due course. That's what we intend to do.
A former contestant of television reality show Mentor has been sentenced to life imprisonment after he was found guilty for manslaughter by a 7-member jury. Bismark Ato Foster was charged for 2 counts, namely murder and the use of offensive weapon, which led to the death of one Razak Mohammed at Nungua, Coco Beach on September 26, 2016. Though he pleaded not guilty to the 2 charges, the jury found him guilty for manslaughter instead of murder 7 years after the incident. The jury had returned a 6-1 guilty verdict against him for both charges, but upon further deliberation, returned again with a guilty verdict against him for manslaughter and the use of offensive weapon. Justice Mary Mami Ekwe Yanzo, presiding at the Criminal Court 3, accordingly imposed a life sentence on him after the jury were discharged. For the charge of the use of offensive weapon, he was sentenced to 25 years, with both punishment set to run currently. With his plea for mitigation, his counsel has prayed the court to temper justice with mercy and hand the convict with the minimum punishment, since he was a first-time offender. Counsel also drew the court's attention to the fact that the convict had probably conducted himself throughout the trial and was available anytime the case was called. It was his prayer again that the convict is a very young man who has great future ahead of him and only became a victim of circumstances. He said his client has shown remorse throughout the trial and the judge should use the motherly instinct to give him minimum punishment. Counsel said the convict did not intentionally cause the death of the deceased as found by the jury, and prayed that, looking at his age, his demeanor throughout the trial, the incident was purely accidental. Counsel also said the convict was the only one left to protect the property of his family. Okay, now let's check out the prosecution properly. Let's see how things went with our brother who is supposed to be in life prison for now. And the brief fact is, per the summary of evidence to the jury, the complainant Ebenezer Eko Eyim, who was the first prosecution witness, is a businessman and had acquired 2 plots of land at Nungua, Coco Beach area. According to him, he was been living on 1 plot with his family for the past 6 years, while the other plot of land is underdeveloped. The complainant indicated that he knew the accused person because he occasionally weeds his undeveloped plot without his consent. The complainant said following the report the incident to the police on about 2 occasions. He on September 24th, 2016 again reported the incident to the police, and 2 police officers followed him to the plot of land. He said the police officers advised the complainant to build a fence wall around the underdeveloped land, and one of the police officers by name Caesar recommended the deceased Razak Mohammed and his colleague to supply the complainant with sand and stones for the construction of the fence wall. The evidence indicated that the complainant contacted Razak and his colleagues on September 26, 2016 at about 5 to 5:45 p.m. They came to the complainant's house to inspect the plot. The complainant said he, together with Razak and his colleagues, went outside to inspect the plot of land, but the complainant went back inside the house briefly to pick his slippers because he was then only wearing a pair of socks. He, whilst in his house, heard a gunshot and quickly ran out to see Razak shot dead and one of his colleagues, Stephen Ansa, arm bleeding. The complainant said he called the police for assistance and rushed Stephen Ansa to the police hospital for treatment and later lodged a complaint at the Nungua police station. Yes, so according to CID's evidence, it was the evidence of Detective Chief Inspector Osei stationed at the Patient Divisional CID headquarters that on September 26, 2016, the case was referred to him for investigations. According to him, on the same day, a team of police officers led by the crime officer Superintendent Yao Ohini Fechi visited the crime scene at Nungua Coco Beach. He said they found the body of a male adult aged about 46 years lying in a pool of blood in a prone position in between a house and a portion of land raised to footing level. He said they inspected the body and a gunshot wound was found at the right part of the chest, and the deceased body was identified by neighbors as Razak Mohammed. According to him, photographs of the body of the deceased and the crime scene were taken, and the body was conveyed to the police hospital mortuary for preservation and autopsy. He said investigations led to the arrest of the accused person and statement taken from him. The accused was eventually directed by the police officers by the Office of the Attorney General to charge the accused with murder and use of offensive weapon, which he did. So that's the fate of our brother who has a great future but has no heart to live by his word. Bismark Ato Foster. I say, may the good Lord be with you wherever you are going. As of now, it's Prime TV Africa. If this is your very first time watching us, or this is your very first time seeing this news, kindly watch, subscribe, and then leave your comment beneath the video. We'll be proud to read your comment. Have a great day.